How you doing and welcome to Need the Real Music. I'm Ed. This is Just Play It for the Piano. If you've been following along, we've been taking a look at Swedish Pastry by Barney Kessel. We've taken an opportunity to look at a walking bass line and also the chords for a guitar part. So today we're going to look at basic chords for the piano. This is a standard blues turnaround with a couple little ideas that they threw in just to make it a little bit more interesting. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe and ring the bell so that you know when your next lesson is coming. Let's take a look at Swedish Pastry by Barney Kessel. In our first measure, we're going to be looking at a B flat major 7 chord. I'm trying to keep all of this information close to the middle of the piano, but if you want to take any of the ideas and move them down an octave, you're more than welcome to. So in our left hand, we're going to do the notes B flat and D, and in our right hand, we're going to do the notes F and A. This is a B flat major 7 chord. For our next measure, we're going to keep our B flat and then move down to a D flat. And we're going to do an E flat in our right and a G. This is an E flat 7 chord. For our third measure, we're going to return to our B flat major 7 chord. And for our fourth measure, we're going to keep our B flat, D, and our F, but we're going to change our A down to A flat. And this is going to be a B flat 7 chord. So if we go through, we have B flat major 7, E flat 7, back to B flat major 7, and then a B flat 7 chord. Let's take a moment and do it with a little bit of counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That takes care of our first 4 measures. Really not that hard of a turnaround. The next 4 measures might be a little bit more challenging because in parts of this we're going to be changing every 2 beats instead of every 4. We're going to be starting measure number 5 with our E flat 7 chord, so that's the notes B flat, D flat, E flat, and G. And when we go to measure 6, we're actually going to start with that same chord, so it's an E flat 7 chord. And then next we're going to switch G to G flat, and we're going to have an E flat minor 7 chord. So E flat 7, E flat minor 7. Notice there isn't much movement in my fingers. I've tried to do this purposefully so this way you don't have a lot of changing to go through. In measure 7, we're going to go back to a B flat major 7 chord. So B flat, D, F, and A. And after that, we're going to go to a C minor 7 chord. So the way that I decided to do this is B flat and C in my left hand, then E flat and G in my right. So if we do measures 5, 6, and 7, we have E flat 7, 2, 3, 4, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, one more time, E flat 7, E flat 7, E flat minor 7, E flat major 7, C minor 7. After our C minor 7, we're going to go back to B flat major 7. Now this chord is a little tricky. They call it a D flat minor 7. I prefer to look at it as a C sharp minor 7, but everyone's going to be a little bit different. The pattern that I chose is C flat, which is the note B, D flat, F flat, which is the note E, and A flat. The easier way to look at this for me is as a C sharp chord, so I use the note B or C flat, C sharp, E, G sharp. However you choose to view this is fine, just make sure you have the right notes in your fingers. So if we do 5, 6, 7, and 8, we'll have this chord change. E flat 7, E flat 7, E flat minor 7, B flat major 7, C minor 7, B flat major 7, D flat minor 7, so if we do that with a little bit of time, I'm going to count a little bit slower for this particular part so that we can get it a little easier. How you count to learn your music is up to you. You can count slow, you can count a little bit faster if you're more confident, but ultimately what has to happen is when you're done learning your parts and you're practicing them, that they are consistent, that they all have the same timing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? We try to do this from the beginning. We have B flat major 7, E flat 7, B flat major 7, B flat 7, E flat 7, E flat 7 again, E flat minor 7, B flat major 7, C minor 7, B flat major 7, D flat minor 7, now for our last 4 measures, measure number 9, we're going to go back to a C minor 7. So let's B flat, C, E flat, and G. Now from here we're going to go to an F7. So I like to go A, C, E flat, F, because it's close by. Remember, I'm trying to keep everything in the middle of the piano and keep the consistent fingering so that you're not moving around. So we have C minor 7, F7. Now we're going to go to a new version of B flat major 7. So my new voicing is A, B flat, D, and F. And then we're going to go to another new version of B flat major 7, and this voicing is F, A, B flat, and D. The reason for the different voicings is to provide a little bit of change, because playing the same chord twice in a row really isn't that interesting. So you want to make your chord changes interesting, even if you have to play the same chord more than once. So measure 9, C minor 7, to F7, to a new version of B flat major 7, and then to another new version. So if we play the whole entire song, we have B flat major 7 to E flat 7. B flat major 7 to B flat 7, E flat 7, E flat 7, E flat minor 7, B flat major 7, C minor 7, B flat major 7, D flat minor 7 to C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7, B flat major 7. Now the fingering you use can totally be up to you. Whatever fingering is comfortable for you and easy to repeat, whatever fingering you decide, basically try to use that same finger every single time, that same group of fingers every single time you play it, and try not to go fishing. If you don't settle on one way to play it, it actually will make it really difficult to play in the future. Now with this version of the chords, I've decided to keep everything on beat 1 for the sake of learning it. We're going to now take a look at some practice where I'm going to give you a count in. We're going to be playing at around 60 beats per minute. And you'll be able to follow my hands and have some sheet music. You'll then be able to use what's called the synesthesia program, which has those drop-down bars that you could use in order to follow and see what notes I'm actually playing, as well as see my hands. Then you'll get the synesthesia program with the sheet music, no hands. And last, what we're going to do is provide the sheet music, but there's going to be no sound. So you'll be able to follow my hands, but you'll have to play to make it work. And last, we're going to do the same thing with the synesthesia program. Let's take a look at this idea right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what we're going to do is check this song out with the synesthesia drop-down bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, you're going to have an opportunity to look at it with the sheet music as well as the drop-down bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, you're going to have an opportunity to view it with sheet music, but you'll have to play it on your own. There'll be no sound to help you out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And last, you could follow along with the drop-down bars. Once again, there'll be no sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. I really hope ideas like this are helping you become a better player. This is what I would consider a standard blues turnaround with a couple of extra chords. So if you want to try to jam along to this, you could use a blues scale. The other thing that you can do is introduce timing into your playing. So what I mean by that is instead of just playing standard 1, 2, 3, 4, you could play around with the rhythm and how long you let each note ring. So I can go. And I'm playing with the various timings that could come along and fit within my count. This way, my piano part contributes more rhythmically than it did by just stating the chord and letting it ring out. Now, you want to start by doing the stating the chord thing and get better at playing and understand where those chords are and be comfortable switching. When you start adding in your syncopation and changes, it's because that you've become so good at the other part that you're kind of bored of playing it that way. So you start playing around with where those notes fit into the beat. As I said, I hope this made you a better player. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Compliments are nice, but questions let me know that you're working on these things. Also, if you have an opportunity, please check out my Patreon page. There isn't much up there right now, but something as simple as a single $1 could help me start making more time to create more content for you to follow. Please remember to subscribe and ring the bell. This way you can see when your next lesson pops up. Good luck, good practice.